let's start off again by correcting what the supervisor probably was about to say that he had in his mailer, that I did nothing to help fix California's foreclosure problem. The fact is that this year alone, I had, with the governor and other legislators, I supported the largest, most significant historic reform to foreclosure problems in California. I voted for that. Now, my challenger here doesn't want to acknowledge that. I broke with party lines. I went against the Cal Chamber, and I supported this because we have an ongoing serious problem of foreclosure problems, and I've seen that as we walk throughout the precincts, throughout the city, throughout the county areas. And folks, if we can't keep families in their homes, we are not going to recover from the tough economic times that we have. And the only way we're going to do that is we have to make the large banks work with the homeowners. And the legislation that I helped pass was so that as you were working with the bank to get foreclosure relief, they could no longer process the foreclosure of your home while you were working with the other department in the same bank. That's the reform that I helped push through.
A little late, we're more than halfway through all the foreclosures in the state, and so there were a lot of politicians that shifted course after they saw what a serious problem this was. I mean, over half of our hundreds and thousands of foreclosures here in the county of Riverside. So they jumped on the, they were hitchhikers on the popularity bandwagon at last. Well, that's good, that's good. I compliment Assembly Jeffrey for finally recognizing this. The county saw it from the outset. One thing we had the power to do was to use our code enforcement inspections, which are usually, looked at with some fear and respect, but to go around and make sure there weren't any safety hazards. Look at the pools in the backyard, make sure the bank was keeping the property up so that other houses in the neighborhood their values weren't damaged. And the county aggressively moved on that front from the very beginning. We were moving on it. We were trying to do everything we could. We got some money from the state and feds that we tried to resell homes. But largely this is an issue that has festered at the state and federal levels. And a lot of other things have happened since. And only now are they beginning to see that we need to do something more proactively.
Mr. Jeffries, rebuttal.
Yeah, I think you just look at the two things that have been accomplished. The supervisor just spoke to his accomplishment of having code enforcement go after dirty yards. Okay, it's important, I get it. My efforts were to keep people in their homes so that we didn't have to have a bad yard that needed to be cleaned up. That's the difference between the two. He may be complaining that it took a number of years for the legislature to get the job done, and that's just the one little problem of the legislature. But at least we did something significant and meaningful to help families keep their homes.
Mr. Buster, rebuttal.
Well, this has been a widely publicized issue for the last 2 or 3 years at least, and you'd think the state legislature, who offers hundreds of bills, I mean, each legislator, you had at least a dozen on your sheet here, that I have, yellow sheet, somewhere you would have offered something on foreclosures here, because it's a primary topic in this inland area. Riverside County's been hit the worst. Here's your list of priorities. Nowhere on here is there anything that I've seen about foreclosures in your priorities. So I'm kind of baffled by the sudden concern after so much water is under the bridge. I mean, it's good you've got in here now. I appreciate that, but it's too little. I think too late.
Mr. Buster, you're first on the next question. To what extent should the County of Riverside respect existing municipalities when considering approval of major land use projects and developments?
Considering approval of what?
Say that again?
Okay. To what extent should the County of Riverside respect existing municipalities when considering approval of major land use projects and developments?
I've always been concerned about sprawl, about trying to make sure that urban development could be part of a city if it was near a city, or that if it was freestanding, that it could maintain itself into the future, that it had the financial wherewithal, and that might have a chance for local control in the future. You see my record is clear on that. And And also, my record's very clear on trying to protect rural areas. I've been very consistent about that, and spent a lot of time trying to save some of our prime agricultural resource, our natural beauty, our Santa River, for example, for many, many years. And increasingly now, in the tough economic times, this is going to be a more important issue. I mean, we only have so much money now. Our revenues for Measure A, our transportation half-cent sales tax, are not projected to be as high as they once were. We have a reduced level of development, even though we've helped generate $544 million through the transportation uniform mitigation fee that the new development pays. But we're going to have to be much more judicious about how we target growth and where we encourage growth. And that's not easy to do in this county because we have a lot of areas. And we have to work together with the cities. I think my record shows, such as in the corporation of Wildemar, that I fought for those folks so that their area was not balkanized, picked off by adjacent cities, as was the case, so that they had a chance at local control in determining their own destiny, and we worked with them closely in their development procedures as well.
Mr. Jeffries.
It comes down to cooperation, once again, between the counties and county representatives and the city representatives. A positive, informative relationship that has to be built. There's a reason why so many city council members throughout the first district are supporting me. We need to have a new level of openness and access in the first district office. We need to get rid of the battle lines that have been drawn over the years, for the past 20 years, and have a new energy and a new enthusiasm to work together. The cities have concerns that are legitimate about traffic impacts from new developments right on the borderlines of the city. Those have to be addressed when those projects are being processed. There are issues of public safety and who's helping who, county and city rolling into opposite areas to back each other up. Those have to be resolved before those projects are built. And that's why you have to have a strong relationship between the first district supervisor and the city council members, and I'm going to offer that as soon as I get sworn in.
Mr. Buster, rebuttal.
Yeah, I think I have a relationship. I don't list all my endorsements. I mean, I have a considerable endorsement. But I would say relationships are very important. And checking with your local officials, whether they're city, whether they're school district, whether they're water district, is important. Let me just put a challenge out to my opponent here. He's been on several water boards here, the Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District Board and the Western Municipal Water District Board. And yet recently, he offered a bill to open up Lake Matthews for just general public use. And apparently, he didn't check with the Western Municipal Water District, who sent him a letter signed by their president and all the board members saying this would cost ratepayers millions of dollars if this was done. Assemblyman Jeffries then dropped his bill to open up. I mean, how does that show any kind of cooperation with local officials?
Mr. Jeffries.
Here we go again. I have to correct the supervisor. We propose to open up Lake Matthews for fishing. Now, I don't know about many of you, but fishermen are not identified as very dangerous individuals who are going to cause problems in communities while they're fishing. The sports fishermen throughout Southern California were very excited about the opportunity to utilize a public resource that you own. You, the taxpayers, you, the ratepayers, you own that facility. And there are reservoirs throughout California that allow fishing. That's what we were hoping to achieve.
Why'd you drop the bill? I mean, here's Mr. Evans saying
Let's go on.
it costs millions of dollars to make the changes Assemblyman Jeffrey proposed.
Mr. Buster, you had your chance for a vote. Thank you.